Welcome to Senior Strategies, Tools for the Caregiver with Amy Decker and Shayne Silver. Join us on each show where you're going to enjoy a lively conversation that's going to connect you to the tools and resources that you'll need to coordinate care for the seniors in your life. We are so happy that you joined us. Hi, welcome back to Senior Strategies. We're so happy that you joined us this evening. My name is Amy Decker and I work for Senior Helpers of Boynton Beach.
And I am Shayne Silver with the Silver team at Keller Williams Realty. I am a seniors real estate specialist and I am a caregiver. Thank you guys for joining us.
And so we're enjoying this weather down here. As you could tell with our barometers, it's very humid and very hot.
Yes.
And what we didn't realize is it causes some issues with sinuses. People are getting migraines.
A lot of migraines.
I've been waking up the last few mornings just very puffy and headachy. And so I was in an event this morning, and there's a company that's in Boca Raton. You have to do this because I went today and it was wonderful. And it's called Splash IV. And the owners are Allison Diedick and her boyfriend Ryan Pilitary, and they're the owners there. It's a wonderful hydration situation that you go through. It's like a wellness experience. And so with me, I didn't know what was wrong. My eyes, I looked like
puffy.
I looked like Igor, puffy. So they gave me a little oxygen thing up my nose that had eucalyptus. They put something on my face that was blinking red lights. I had something else that was blue. The whole time I laid tilted back in a massage chair that massaged my feet and my legs and my...
So jealous.
But you know what? It made a difference with my eyes. So I've tried everything the last few days. I've tried Preparation H, didn't work.
It's been really humid here.
It's been really humid. And so that's what they're seeing is the humidity really is causing a lot of problem. But if you go, you've got to go to Splash IV that's in Boca, and it is, it's located at the Boardwalk at 18th Street, and you have to call 561-672-1438. You can
You want Amy's treatment.
You want Amy's treatment. You can do a girls' night out. You can do a couples retreat. You can just go and spend a day, and they do all sorts of wonderful things. They have wine and
great
cheese.
Great respite for a caregiver.
Great respite for a caregiver that I think you need this week.
It has been a week, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
On the caregiving side, my dad has been in the hospital for 8 days now on intravenous antibiotics due to an untreated infection that he never told anyone he had. And he's doing fine now, doing much better. Still not coming home for a few more days, but I do want to talk a little bit because today's show we are going to be talking about caregiver burnout, and we have some great guests with us today. We have Jennifer Alminana, who is a licensed clinical social worker who specializes in working with caregivers, and we have some other caregivers here with us today that I'm excited to introduce you to.
A father-daughter team that are caring for mother/wife,
Correct.
and they're wonderful. They're going to talk about their challenges.
Correct. And this week was really challenging. I wanted to cry. I probably drank a few bottles of wine. But the biggest challenge this week in being a caregiver goes back to something we talked about on our last episode with Carol Hirsch from Prepare to Care. So aside from dealing with my father, who was in the hospital, and my mother with Alzheimer's, who was now alone and without my dad, and because of her Alzheimer's, couldn't remember where he was and looking for him. The hardest part was coordinating everything, because when it came down to it, I had to coordinate the hospital, the assisted living community where he lives, and the home health care agency, and getting everyone to talk and everyone to be on the same page, and me, who does not work in this industry, to understand why they were doing things that they were doing, why he couldn't go back to the ALF, why only certain things were covered by Medicare. It was the last 2 days, probably, no joke, probably 27 phone calls, to the point where last night I went down to the hospital, stood in the room, almost chained myself there until they got the doctor.
And security.
Once the doctor came in, I said, you cannot move from this room until I get the home health care agency on the phone,
everybody on
the
board.
ALF on the phone, the social worker, the case manager, the whole care team on the phone or in the room at one time so that we could figure out, with everyone talking, what was going to happen with my
and
dad and what the next step
your
was.
wishes were, and what your dad's wishes were, and your concern about your mom being on her own. Like all those pieces were a part of it.
The bottom line was, how do we get him home to the ALF the quickest without him having to spend a long time in rehab or more days in the hospital? He's already been there for 8.
Because then you atrophy.
Right. And how do we create the care that he needs so that we can get him home the quickest?
Right.
And unfortunately, it wound up that he does need to go to a rehab center so he could finish the round of antibiotics that he needed.
And it's a good one. There are good ones and bad ones. Fortunately, they picked a good one for him to go to.
Right. He's had some bad experiences before.
Yeah.
So that was my biggest thing. How do I get him home to the environment that he knows, the people that know him and care for him,
And to his wife.
and to his wife, who doesn't understand that he's missing.
Doesn't
and
know
through
where he
all
is.
this, that's been his biggest concern is, how's mom? How's mom? Has mom? Can you bring her to see me? Can you bring her to see me? And unfortunately, she's at the state where she doesn't remember that he's in the hospital.
She thinks he's in his room. Yeah.
She thinks he's either missing or he's in his room sleeping, and she will pace the halls looking for him.
So, the challenges that you have dealt with, imagine if you lived in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut,
Correct.
Calgary, Canada, the UK, and you're trying to make this all come together via phone.
It didn't work via phone, and I'm local.
Right.
And I'm here.
Right.
And sometimes that's just the life of a caregiver.
Yeah.
That's just what we have to do. And, you know, I have a family, I have children, I run a full-time business. I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I'm a friend, and I literally had to drop everything while I was away on vacation with my husband and my daughter. But that's what we do. I couldn't get upset.
Right.
I just needed to get it done. And last night, the first person I saw at the hospital was a nurse, and I apologized first and foremost. I said, I'm going to curse, and I might not be nice. So I'm going to say thank you at the beginning for all you've done, but here's what I need now.
I appreciate your patience, but...
I appreciate your patience, but I'm going to drop a couple
Right.
words that I probably shouldn't
Yeah.
say. And
But that's the purpose of this show. I think one of the biggest reasons that we got this show together is whether you're local or you're out of state, everybody needs tools. Everybody needs resources. When I go and talk to people, they're like, oh, I didn't even know you had that. I didn't know that there was a 211 helpline. I didn't know there was a mobile medical. I didn't know you could have somebody sit in the hospital. Or,
so the first time, about a year and a half ago, my father had the same issue. He was in the hospital and they had to send him to a rehab. And it wasn't a great rehab, and it was probably making him worse. And at one point, I was on the phone with his Medicare case manager, and she said to me, do you know, you don't have to keep him there. Just because they sent him there doesn't mean he has to stay. You can bring him home if you can get him the care he needs. And I went, nobody told me that. How would I ever know that? So I got off that phone call, called the assisted living facility where he lives. I said, I want a meeting with all the people involved in his care tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And I sat in a room with 5 people and I said, I'm bringing him home tomorrow. I don't know what kind of care he needs. I need everyone to be on call and tell me what the options are so we can get him home. And again, I had to get the care team in one place so that the nurse could talk to the director of the ALF, and the director of the ALF could talk to physical therapy, and we could talk to home health and say, okay, we don't know what condition he's going to be in, but here's what he can provide. And luckily it worked out. But I never would have known that I didn't have to keep him there.
Right. So that is why these are such crucial points to bring up, because there are so many things that most don't know. And they feel like they have to listen to what the hospital says, or the ALF, or the nursing home, or so in their mind, they're being obedient and hoping that they're going to be doing the best for where you've got a lot of rights on your own.
There are.
Lots.
You do. And it's important to have a case manager, whether it's from the hospital or from your insurance company. It's important to have someone that you can talk to about that and see what options you truly have.
And they're like the general contractor, so they can get everybody together on the same page. Let's talk about this.
And you have to really be their voice. You know, and I always say to my dad's case manager, what if they didn't have a me?
Right.
My father could not have negotiated all of this and figured out, you know, they asked him, what do you want to do? And he's like, I don't know. I mean, he doesn't know what his options are. So as a caregiver, we really are their voice. we really understand what they want and what we think is best for them.
So you have to do your homework. They have to do their homework before they go, like you did, and present to 5 people to say, this is what I want.
Correct.
I think most may not have time to do that, or they don't even know where to begin with that. But you do have rights, but you have to do your homework.
Right. And that's why someone like Carol Hirsch with Prepare to Care Emergency Companion, she was on our last episode, is so important, especially if you're not local.
Right.
Finding someone like her who can be that boots on the ground person to help advocate for your loved one and help to know what's going to be the best for them or what their wishes are.
And she runs a commercial through this. So during our commercial break, she'll be one of those Prepare to Care for Carol.
So you can get her phone number and contact her, or contact us directly if you have any needs to want to reach out.
Right, or other topics that you may want. We say this at the beginning of each show, but if there's something that you'd like to hear more about, our email is seniorstrategies.pb@gmail.com, or you can call us at 561-800-6654. We've also got a Facebook page,
Instagram, and YouTube. And please, if there's any topics that we haven't touched on yet that you really want to hear about, let us know.
Or maybe you have something.
There's maybe a resource out there that we don't know about.
Right, that we would love to share on the show too. And we're getting that now. It's so interesting. We have viewers and listeners from the UK. We have viewers and listeners from Calgary, Canada. Like, we're just blown away over some of the things that on our social media has gone viral, because we have hit such a sensitive, emotional spot for so many people's lives that the comments even that we're getting on the wall are, oh my gosh, you guys are coming up with such great things.
You have to remember that we're in South Florida, and South Florida is very transient. So we have a lot of seniors down here whose adult children are not local.
And we're going to talk about that after the commercial break.
Yes,
yes. C sign, which I figured out meant a commercial. So we'll be back because we're going to talk about our caregivers and those that can help them.
Caregiver Burnout. So come back after the commercial.
Hi, I'm Amy Decker with Senior Helpers.
And I'm Shayne Silver, a seniors real estate specialist with the Silver team at Keller Williams.
We are so excited about a new show that we're launching, Senior Strategies, Tools for the Caregiver.
We know that being a caregiver can be lonely and very overwhelming, and we want to help.
And so we hope to empower you with resources and tools that you probably didn't even know existed.
We'll be having some great conversations with people and companies you probably never knew existed and never knew you needed.
We just can't wait for you to join us.
Come join us for some laughs and fun as we give you some tools to use.
See you soon.
In support of all the work that Amy Decker and Shayne Silver do for our senior community, Prepare to Care Emergency Companions is honored to sponsor this segment of Senior Strategies, Tools for the Caregiver.
This segment of Senior Strategies is brought to you by Sokoloff and Weinstein, PA Attorneys at Law. Injured? Not your fault? Call Sokoloff and Weinstein, PA Attorneys at Law. They have provided personal injury representation and have practiced in Palm Beach County since 1993. They will address your individual needs and help you through whatever concerns you may have. Principal office located in Palm Beach County. Satellite office located in Indian River County. Call today at 561-790-6788. That's 561-790-6788.
NPTU is a mobile pain management provider caring for patients in their homes or skilled and assisted nursing facilities. NPTU can help with prescribing medications, joint and spine injections, under ultrasound guidance, with a specialty in neurostimulators. Neurostimulators can help reduce the need for narcotic pain medication and are covered by Medicare with a secondary insurance at 100%. NPTU and Tracy Leshinsky is the only provider of this device within a 250-mile radius. Services Palm Beach and North Broward counties. Contact NPTU today at 561-901-1182.
Welcome to Allegro Boynton Beach, the epitome of luxury senior living. Discover a lifestyle free from maintenance worries, or experience gentle support tailored to your daily needs. Choose from our exclusive offerings of independent living, assisted living, and memory care, each designed to provide a personalized experience of utmost comfort and care. indulge in a maintenance-free retirement, or embrace the support you deserve. Surrounded by the finest amenities and compassionate staff. At Allegro Boynton Beach, luxury meets a vibrant community where every moment is filled with joy, purpose, and peace of mind. Experience luxury senior living at its finest. Contact us today to schedule your visit and discover the unmatched lifestyle awaiting you at Allegro Boynton Beach.
Welcome back to Senior Strategies with Amy and Shayne. Coming up next are more tools and resources you will need to make your journey of caregiving a little easier. For more information or to be a guest on the show, please contact us at 561-800-6654. And now, on with the show.
Hi, welcome back to the show. We are really excited. We've got some great guests here that are...
Jennifer Alminana has joined us today to talk a little bit about caregiver burnout. So Jennifer, will you introduce yourself to the audience for us?
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Jennifer Alminana. I am a clinical social worker and a certified oncology social worker. I graduated from the University of Pennsylvania in psychology, and I went to NYU for a Master of Social Work, and I have a postmaster's degree from the National Institute of Psychotherapies in New York. I have a private practice, JSA Psychotherapy locally, and I see a variety of patients in that private practice, all adults, and I take insurance. I take most insurance plans. I see mostly adults with a variety of issues: anxiety, depression, life transitions, relationship issues. But I would say I have a specialty and a niche with caregivers. I believe this population is, I would say, underserved and underappreciated, and a special place in my heart. When I worked for many years in hospital settings, inpatient and outpatient, and a lot with, as I told you that I have an oncology certification, a lot with cancer patients. And I notice that a lot of times when you're in a room with medical professionals and nurses, they're always, as it's appropriate, asking how the patient's doing, and a lot of times not asking how the caregiver's doing.
Right.
So they're kind of underappreciated. And so I took special interest in that, and a lot of times the caregivers are the spouses, but also, as you know, caregivers are frequently adult children,
Right.
or
The
even
sandwich
young,
generation,
right?
we
The
call
sandwich
it.
generation. And I notice, and I facilitate a couple caregiver support groups in the area.
Right, and that's where we just recently had you with our guests that are going to be on today. So
Yes.
Allegro has a support group every third Thursday of the month.
Right.
And so Jennifer is there, and our other guests are from that as well. So
Yes.
we appreciate that support group. You're great
Yeah,
with
I
that.
think support groups, and we can continue to talk about that, are one great way to either prevent caregiver burnout or to help people who already have caregiver burnout as a way to give them extra support, extra resources, and develop some strategies to help deal with that caregiver burnout.
I will tell you that for many, many years, I have been a part of a support group for caregivers of those with Alzheimer's, and I have learned so many coping strategies for myself, not just ways to cope and deal with my loved one, my mother, who has Alzheimer's and dementia, but for myself. I mean, it gives you coping strategies, and it also shows you, again, one of the biggest reasons we're doing this show is that you're not alone.
Right, right.
There are other people out there that are going through this or have been through it that can guide you.
I would say when I facilitate the caregiver group that I have, that's also on Thursdays, it's every other Thursday at 11 a.m. And if anyone has any interest, you can always look me up. The thing that I hear most when people start talking about their stories and someone else chimes in and says, oh, I had that exact same situation happen to me last week, or oh, I really thought that I was the only one dealing with this. And just the validation and normalizing what's happening with their loved one or what's happening with themselves, or feeling like they're not isolated or they're not alone, it just brings on so much more comfort.
And it empowers them to know that, you know, you're bringing this all out with conversation. A lot of times you have a hard time even pulling conversation onto people that are feeling stressed or burned out, where you can pull that conversation out for all of them to recognize everybody sitting at this table is dealing with this.
Right, when they know that they're not the only one and that other people are in that situation, they're more apt to open up and truly tell you what they're feeling.
I will say that, of course, having someone as you're dealing with, and you're caring for both your parents, right? And one of your parents has an Alzheimer's diagnosis, and your other parent doesn't, but he has some other medical issues, right? And of course it's different in terms of what they're dealing with, but it's not different in terms of what your emotions are, right? So even within the caregiver group that I facilitate, I always tell people, because sometimes they call me and they say, oh, well, is everyone in the group dealing with Alzheimer's? Because I only want to go to an Alzheimer's group. And I say, I definitely recommend that you can seek out an Alzheimer's caregiver group. But I also recommend that you try this group because the emotions are very similar. And the experiences of being isolated, of not taking care of yourself, of worrying about certain aspects of, let's say, the legal aspects of things, and you know,
keeping him safe in the home, or getting, like you say, an elder law attorney involved, or it's
so
all the same thing.
All these things. So once they join, they see, oh, there's a lot of different things and coping techniques and strategies and resources that I need that are very similar across the board.
What is your biggest challenge, do you think? What do you see most? Any bigger challenge?
For me or for the clients?
For you personally.
No, for the caregivers. What do you hear most?
Well, I think a lot of family dynamics, for sure.
Oh yeah. That's huge. Yes, I think that is the biggest thing too. Even when we're getting caregivers in the home, and you've got kids calling from out of state to get an aide to come into their home for a caregiver to care for their parents, and they don't really, then there's 3 siblings and they're not agreeing, and who's the POA and who's not the POA, who is the healthcare surrogate, who wants to talk louder, who lives closer, who's nicer, who's not.
Who does mom like better?
Who does mom like better? That's huge. That is huge.
I think family dynamics is very challenging, especially when there's like stepchildren involved, people not talking to each other. A lot of those things are very challenging. Driving, when someone is
those tough conversations.
Tough conversations. Having tough conversations is extremely challenging. And trying as the clinician involved, trying to have those conversations with the caregiver and directing them in ways to talk to their significant others or their parents, because they know them best. I don't know them. And so when I'm trying to give them strategies, oh, that's not going to work with the person I deal with. Oh, that's not going to work. I strongly suggest trying different techniques. And
because kids may have ideas that they think mom and dad aren't going to like it, but mom and dad might love it.
They may love it, and I think, and things may work one time and not work the next time. And so I strongly suggest trying different techniques, trying them at different times. Some people are not as receptive in the evening times as they are in the morning. They may not be receptive before they eat. Some people may need food in their system, like all of us.
Blood pressure, sugar, sundowners, tired. All of those things.
So trying different strategies. Another issue that I think comes up for sure is not accepting help. A lot of caregivers don't accept help. I can do this all on my own. I've never accepted help in my life, and I don't need to accept it now.
No, you cannot do it all alone.
But if it's a husband, I've always taken care of my wife. I don't need any help. I can take care of her on my own. If it's a wife, I've always taken care of my husband. I always cooked his meals or washed his clothes or cleaned the house. That's great, but things have changed. Now you're working for 2 people.
So I think what I see that comes along with that is when you become a caregiver, there's a major role change. There's a role change in the household, there's a role change in the whole family dynamic outside the household, kind of what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Your roles have expanded.
I went from being a daughter to now being my mother's, not just her caregiver, but making
Guardian.
decisions for her. It's almost like I have 2 more children.
Yeah.
Because I really am taking that role where I'm dealing with everything from finances, medical, housing, anything and everything. And it really is like having 2 more children. And it changes that dynamic if you're a child between you and your parent.
Sure.
Right? I
Yeah.
mean, at the beginning, they didn't want to have it. They were like, we can handle this, but they can't.
And at the beginning, I think you mourn the loss of that relationship. You know, when you're younger, you're growing up, your mom and dad are everything to you. They make decisions for you. You depend on them to keep you safe and to make decisions for. Now the roles have switched. So they're still there, but you're mourning that person because now that person is not the same. They look the same, they sound the same. What comes out of their mouth or what they're saying, it's not. And that's sad.
So I really appreciate you using the word mourning, and that's something that I think I work with when I'm doing individual therapy and during group. I am often bringing up the word grief. A lot of people use the word grief when they're talking about death, but grief comes up in our lives and loss in so many different aspects, and we are grieving the loss of what used to be, the loss of
A relationship.
who people used to be, and the loss of the relationship that used to be. And it takes a lot of time and the feelings that come up when we have this loss of the role that used to be in the household, the loss of the relationship. And so I think it's really important to be able to, whether it's in therapy or in a group or both, to be able to process those losses and to be able to process that whole experience.
Absolutely, because you also get, not only have you lost it, now you have compounded all the responsibilities in your life. So in Shayne's case again, it's now you've taken on both parents and your kids and your job and your husband and your house. So it's at what point do you take time for yourself? And that's the biggest part because you don't, which one do you let go? Which one?
You can't drop. You're juggling all those balls and you can't drop any.
Right.
They're glass.
Right.
You can't drop any.
Right. They're glass. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, so I talk to my clients about which ones can we make plastic, at least for the time being. So I'm glad you brought that up.
That's a good one.
And we could talk separately about that, but how can we make some plastic for the time being so you can
Prioritize
place
that
it down for the time being? It doesn't have to be always, but for the time being.
Right.
That's actually a great way to look at it. They're glass, but for now, let's make a couple of them plastic so that we can
prioritize
or
it.
bouncy or whatever.
Bouncy, right.
Bouncy or prioritizing.
Right.
I think that that's why we have some of our other guests here that we're going to be talking to after the other break.
Yes.
As again, Fran, who is caring for her mother, and Ira, who is caring for her wife, and they are husband and daughter, and how I think that's important, like what Jennifer was saying about how our roles change. When we go from being a spouse to a caregiver or a child to a caregiver, it changes all the dynamics.
And the decision to go into a community or to keep her at home, like maybe thinking staying at home might be better, but once then you decide to take that jump, is having that family talking together to decide, let's put her someplace where maybe she's got more activities and she'll flourish more, or so they've got some great things to share with us because that is what they're dealing with right now. And so we're thrilled because they are part of our support group at Allegro. Like I said, every third Thursday of the month. It's at 3 o'clock at the Allegro on Hagen Ranch Road in Boynton Beach. And if you want to attend and you would like to be a part of it, we have one coming up on the 20th.
20th.
On the 20th, and you can call, let me find it, 561-424-3294, 561-424-3294, and that's if you would like to join our support group at Allegro. We would love to have you.
So please join us after the next commercial break, and we bring the rest of our guests back.
Hi, I'm Amy Decker with Senior Helpers.
And I'm Shayne Silver, a seniors real estate specialist with the Silver team at Keller Williams.
We are so excited about a new show that we're launching, Senior Strategies, Tools for the Caregiver.
We know that being a caregiver can be lonely and very overwhelming, and we want to help.
And so we hope to empower you with resources and tools that you probably didn't even know existed.
We'll be having some great conversations with people and companies you probably never knew existed and never knew you needed.
We just can't wait for you to join us.
Come join us for some laughs and fun as we give you some tools to use.
See you soon.
In support of all the work that Amy Decker and Shayne Silver do for our senior community, Prepare to Care Emergency Companions is honored to sponsor this segment of Senior Strategies, Tools for the Caregiver.
This segment of Senior Strategies is brought to you by Sokoloff and Weinstein, PA attorneys at law. Injured? Not your fault? Call Sokoloff and Weinstein, PA attorneys at law. They have provided personal injury representation and have practiced in Palm Beach County since 1993. They will address your individual needs and help you through whatever concerns you may have. Principal office located in Palm Beach County. Satellite office located in Indian River County. Call today at 561-790-6788. That's 561-790-6788.
NPTU is a mobile pain management provider caring for patients in their homes or skilled and assisted nursing facilities. NPTU can help with prescribing medications, joint and spine injections, under ultrasound guidance, with a specialty in neurostimulators. Neurostimulators can help reduce the need for narcotic pain medication and are covered by Medicare with a secondary insurance at 100%. NPTU and Tracy Leshinsky is the only provider of this device within a 250-mile radius. Services Palm Beach and North Broward counties. Contact NPTU today at 561-901-1182.
Welcome to Allegro Boynton Beach, the epitome of luxury senior living. Discover a lifestyle free from maintenance worries, or experience gentle support tailored to your daily needs. Choose from our exclusive offerings of independent living, assisted living, and memory care, each designed to provide a personalized experience of utmost comfort and care. Indulge in a maintenance-free retirement or embrace the support you deserve. Surrounded by the finest amenities and compassionate staff. At Allegro Boynton Beach, luxury meets a vibrant community where every moment is filled with joy, purpose, and peace of mind. Experience luxury senior living at its finest. Contact us today to schedule your visit and discover the unmatched lifestyle awaiting you at Allegro Boynton Beach.
Welcome back to Senior Strategies with Amy and Shayne. Coming up next are more tools and resources you will need to make your journey of caregiving a little easier. For more information or to be a guest on the show, please contact us at 561-800-6654. And now, on with the show.
Guests, and we appreciate all the information that we're getting. And now we get to speak with Ira and his daughter Francine. Fran. And Franny. We are gonna talk today with them, and we've really enjoyed getting to know them. They too are at the support group at Allegro. So there's lots of things they're gonna be able to share with us. So introduce yourselves and tell us what's going on.
Who you're caring for.
You want to go first? You can go first. Oh, thank you. I am the daughter, Francine. I have two children. One just turned 10, one just turned 12. A husband at home, very supportive, as much as I let him be supportive. My son happens to be on the spectrum, so that's another challenge that is added to my plate. And my mother got diagnosed probably around 4 or 5 years ago with Lewy body dementia. And she was taken care of at home for a while, which took a little convincing at first. And then after it was realized that she needed a little additional care, finally we're able to find a facility for her. It happens to be Allegro, where she is now, and she is able to be more social, because when she was pre-diagnosis, she was very social. Yeah. And the fact that she wasn't, and she was all by herself, that I think added to her frustrations and her behavior issues at certain times.
And you said Lewy body, so what makes that different then?
From what I understand, it's a calcification of the brain. It's not the same as like Alzheimer's, because she does recognize us and have memories, but it's more communication. And this past week, she did have an incident where she had to go to the hospital because it was hard for her she couldn't wake up. She was kind of sleeping. Her vitals were fine and everything, and they gave her a whole rundown, and everything was fine. So possible progression to that part of the brain might be a factor right now.
Right.
So that's,
That's a lot. How has your daily activity and schedule changed? What's changed dramatically for you?
Well, I make sure to get Dad every week he comes over for dinner. I make sure that he's not staying at home all the time.
You accompany him to the support group.
I do. He finally agreed to do the support group.
Good.
So that was a big win. I check in on her. I'll order the necessities she needs. I'll get her some clothes, and I visit.
And you're cute. I think you had mentioned one time there was a week or so that you couldn't go there, and you're like, oh, I bet she won't remember. I bet she won't remember. And you walked in, and she's like, where have you been?
Yeah,
You're like, of all
I can't
things,
go
you
every
had to
day. My
remember
dad
that.
was able to go every day. But it's, she's like, I haven't seen you in a while. I'm like, sure, that you know.
That you had to remember. Right.
That's ingrained. That's ingrained. It doesn't matter what your brain is doing. That's who it is. So.
But I love that you're a dynamic duo because you're all for the same purpose, and I think it's great. I think your schedule has changed dramatically too.
Right. I'm Ira Kaplan. I originally, when she developed the Lewy body dementia, we started with an aide in the house, and then the aide was around the clock, 24 hours, and I thought I was doing the right thing.
Keeping her at home.
Keeping her home, one-on-one, and basically, the aide took a walk around the block and watched television all day. Because
right.
What else?
She couldn't do much more, really.
Right.
Really,
Yeah.
and I thought I was doing the right thing with total one-on-one.
Right.
But you realize her brain wasn't being stimulated.
And
Well-
my daughter was pushing me to go to a memory care facility, and I finally did so, and it was really the best thing I did.
She's flourishing.
Because she interacts with the people, she sees movement, there's people around her.
Yeah, it was very heartbreaking for me to see him watch her
Yeah.
deteriorate,
Right.
and he wasn't seeing it because he's in it.
Right. And I visit her
Every day.
every day,
Every day.
lunchtime, and I interact with her.
And she looks forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
She
yeah,
looks forward to it. When I
she-
bring your name up, her
if
eyes
I'm-
light up, and
if
she'll
I'm
say, he's
missing-
upstairs. He's coming right down.
If I come late or missing, she's looking for me.
I bet.
So,
She's still in there. She's feisty. She'll give him hell once in a while.
Right, and
Or you.
the facility is very important because the people that work there are very caring, and that's the whole key.
Yep.
A building is a building, but it's the people
That's right.
that's very important.
Yeah.
And I
We
loved
like
that you said that. Any building can maintain care.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
I
the
had
care
done
that's in it.
research. We visited several different facilities.
And I'm there every day, and I see it every day.
Right.
And the people are very caring, and they're good.
They are good.
Really
And I wanted
good.
to touch on something you said too, because you talked about the fact that she was kind of alone. And one
At
of the
home.
things they say with all forms of dementia is that the
Right.
socialization is so key. We
Yes.
had the same thing. My mom had a type of dementia where at the
Right,
beginning
right.
she was beating up my dad,
It's-
I guess you
it's
could
im-
say. And we had to separate them. And then I realized they were both sitting home in 2 different places,
Right.
and we needed to bring them back together and put them in a facility.
By
But
being
that-
there, she sees movement
Yeah.
and people and interacts.
She's not
And-
she's not as mean as she was alone.
Yeah.
Because she has other people to interact with,
Right.
she sees the excitement, she goes to the activities.
She would like not beat him up physically, but verbally.
Let him
and,
have it,
You know, it's confusing. Why does this happen? Who, you know, what's the reason? Can it be cured?
Right.
And all these stages,
are all
like
good
you
So a
say.
lot of the unknowns causes
Right,
us a lot of anxiety, angst, depression, and that kind of thing. And some of these unknowns, we may not ever have the answer to.
The most important thing, knowing that she's safe
Yes,
Yeah.
for
and
sure.
well taken care
And
of.
happy. She's really happy.
So it's really important that I could go home
that gives you peace of mind.
and
calms your
know
heart.
that she's safe and well taken care of. So
Gave you peace of
that's a
mind.
big
And
highlight.
it took a lot for him to
Get there.
see that.
Something that-
Because I told him, I'm like, I'm not just taking care of him. I need to make sure you're okay.
Right.
I need to make sure you're taken care of and that you're, you know, you can't handle this by yourself. And because they're married over 50 years.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
How many years?
over 50 years.
57 years.
Wow.
That's a long time.
And you're so cute together. You're so
Yeah,
cute
yeah.
together. You go in there and give her a little smooch,
But
and her whole face lights up.
it's a good move.
It's a good
really,
move.
it
And
was
you've
a
got a
good
really
move.
good attitude about it, too. You go in there very positive. You love when she's smiling. You love when she's
I could see the
got her
difference in
books
him.
out.
I
See?
could see a total difference in him. There's a lightness.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think he's officially was diagnosed depression, but
Pretty
there was
close.
a weight. There was just a sadness.
I think it's really great to also know that by you doing this, and if there is a weight lifted, it's going to help your physical health. Like there's statistics that I've been looking at showing that I wrote it down, 23% of family caregivers report caregiving had a negative effect on their health. I mean, obesity, hypertension, substance abuse, anxiety, depression, all of these things. And so if you're feeling better physically and emotionally from making this move, but you're also seeing she's better, which is helping you.
Well,
win-win.
My whole life is upside down because we travel. She was very active
Well, this is a change as we talked
physically,
about.
and everything changed. Everything changed.
But now you've seen since she's moved in then to memory care, as much as you were concerned about that, she has flourished. She's happier.
It changed, but you take one day at a time.
Exactly.
You're constantly adjusting.
Adjusting.
You play the card you're dealt at the time.
Exactly.
That's really
We
how
try
you,
to, my immediate family, my children and my husband, we try to incorporate him in as many things as possible, but he has some guilt going and doing
Sure,
things.
having fun.
But yeah, so I try to
Well, that's
pull it
definitely
out.
going to take some time. This is still really new, right?
Right.
Well, she's in the facility since before the new year, so probably like almost a full year.
Well, after 57 years,
Yes,
this is still
yeah.
new.
Yes.
yeah.
Right. Right. It's
Yes.
a big change. And
Yeah.
and like Fran said, you were in it and you were watching her. It hurts
Well,
to
it's-
see,
it's-
you know, your loved one change.
She was so active. She used to walk 1.5 miles every day,
Wow.
and now she's wheelchair bound. She can very hardly she walks. So you thought just that one incident,
Right.
you know, that-
Something that I heard you say, Fran, which is very common across the board for caregivers, and I was somewhat mentioning this, is I had to, you didn't use the word force, but what I hear is had to like strongly encourage to get someone into the house, and then strongly encourage to have him move her to a facility. It's very hard to change. It's very hard. Change is very hard for most people.
Everyone, I think.
Right.
And that's a hard conversation to have constantly.
Yes.
A hard, like taking away the car keys.
Right.
That's a hard conversation.
Right, it's
When is
taking
it
away
time to go into
independence.
an ALF or into a memory
Right.
care?
And we hear, I'm sure you see this too, and you probably see this all the time, is that you have these families that say, well, I want to broach the subject, but either I know my loved ones are going to completely squash it, or
Right.
they're going to be angry, or they're going to be upset, or
They're gonna
how could
walk
we
out,
even,
yeah.
right? And there's a lot of, I'm sure having that initial conversation, hey, we need to think about the next step, was not easy.
Dad is very
Having someone in your
strong-willed.
home, right?
I'm sorry?
Even just having help in the home. I don't want
Yeah.
someone in my own home.
Right.
That's what I
Well,
hear a lot. I
like I
don't
said-
want anyone in my space.
And also just accepting the change, and because if someone's coming in the home or you're bringing them to a facility, that's admitting that the
That I need
change
help.
is moving on, and that's hard to accept as well.
And Ira's strong-willed.
He's very strong-willed.
So is your mom.
Oh my God.
They created you.
But
So you've got
that's
a very
tricky, too.
strong-willed people
Yeah.
that all love each other, but it's really difficult because you got to make sure you're making the right decision.
She's tough.
You created a strong-willed, right?
Yeah.
But it's always good. That's good.
Yeah.
We'd rather see strong-willed like her. I want 5
But
people
it's
in the room,
also
and I'm gonna-
also
then-
hard to let go when you're so strong-willed because,
Yeah.
like, my husband is like just go do something. So I'm running away from home next week.
Good.
I'm going away.
Go to Splash IV and go
See
have
my
a day
friends.
off it.
And so
Good for you.
as the guilt is kind of there, but I will have faith.
But you
in-
need that
You
to
do.
take care of yourself, because you can't take care of your dad or your mom.
It's amazing. When she was home, she was watching television 98%
Right.
of the day.
Right.
Now that she's in the memory care facility,
Oh, they have
watches,
activities?
She watches television zero.
Right.
She's out.
Oh, she's got books. She's got organized
The-
papers.
the
It's like she's
people
running the joint. I
around.
love it.
Well, it stimulates her
It
mind.
does.
Well, she's always been bossy and organized, so she's just still doing that.
She's
That's
very
ingrained.
organized, and when people
That's
come in,
ingrained.
she'll see somebody come in, even though they're walking by, and she's talking to them like they're going to do the next thing
Oh,
for
yeah.
her, and she's going to mark that one off, and then that paper
See,
goes
so-
over. And she's happy.
So no matter
Right.
what the disability is, they're
Yes.
still in there. And,
She's in there.
and it's it makes you feel a little better.
Yep.
Because you still see them.
You can see
The
sparks
spark
of
once
them.
in a while.
And I always bring both of your names up, and as soon as I do, she's got such a beautiful smile. She'll give me this big, great, big, beautiful smile that she's so excited because she thinks you're
Well,
coming.
now her
and-
smile's all fixed.
Yeah, her smile looks much better.
I think when we're talking about caregiver burnout, when you're saying, Fran, that you're like getting away, despite the guilt, you're pushing yourself to do what's best for you, knowing intellectually that I'm going to have guilt and I'm going to have these feelings, but I also know that while I'm away, I'm going to enjoy myself
Yeah.
because this is best for me.
Yeah, my husband's like, oh, the kids will eat pizza every night. I'm like,
And you
"Oh,
know what?
They're
And
not
that's
going to want me
okay.
back.
And
Let
they're
it
gonna
be
come
every
They're not
That's
gonna want me back.
okay.
Let's talk about, we're going to wind this up, have a commercial, and we'll be back. We're going to
We
talk
will be
more.
back. Please join us after the commercial
Yep.
so we can continue.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Amy Decker with Senior Helpers.
And I'm Shayne Silver, a seniors real estate specialist with the Silver team at Keller Williams.
We are so excited about a new show that we're launching, Senior Strategies, Tools for the Caregiver.
We know that being a caregiver can be lonely and very overwhelming, and we want to help.
And so we hope to empower you with resources and tools that you probably didn't even know existed.
We'll be having some great conversations with people and companies you probably never knew existed and never knew you needed.
We just can't wait for you to join us.
Come join us for some laughs and fun as we give you some tools to use.
See you soon.
In support of all the work that Amy Decker and Shayne Silver do for our senior community, Prepare to Care Emergency Companions is honored to sponsor this segment of Senior Strategies, Tools for the Caregiver.
This segment of Senior Strategies is brought to you by Sokoloff and Weinstein, PA attorneys at law. Injured? Not your fault? Call Sokoloff and Weinstein, PA attorneys at law. They have provided personal injury representation and have practiced in Palm Beach County since 1993. They will address your individual needs and help you through whatever concerns you may have. Principal office located in Palm Beach County. Satellite office located in Indian River County. Call today at 561-790-6788. That's 561-790-6788.
NPTU is a mobile pain management provider caring for patients in their homes or skilled and assisted nursing facilities. NPTU can help with prescribing medications, joint and spine injections under ultrasound guidance with a specialty in neurostimulators. Neurostimulators can help reduce the need for narcotic pain medication and are covered by Medicare with a secondary insurance at 100%. NPTU and Tracy Leshinsky is the only provider of this device within a 250-mile radius. Services Palm Beach and North Broward counties. Contact NPTU today at 561-901-1182.
Welcome to Allegro Boynton Beach, the epitome of luxury senior living. Discover a lifestyle free from maintenance worries, or experience gentle support tailored to your daily needs. Choose from our exclusive offerings of independent living, assisted living, and memory care, each designed to provide a personalized experience of utmost comfort and care. Indulge in a maintenance-free retirement or embrace the support you deserve. Surrounded by the finest amenities and compassionate staff. At Allegro Boynton Beach, luxury meets a vibrant community where every moment is filled with joy, purpose, and peace of mind. Experience luxury senior living at its finest. Contact us today to schedule your visit and discover the unmatched lifestyle awaiting you at Allegro Boynton Beach.
Welcome back to Senior Strategies with Amy and Shayne. Coming up next are more tools and resources you will need to make your journey of caregiving a little easier. For more information or to be a guest on the show, please contact us at 561-800-6654. And now, on with the show. Welcome back again. Thank you guys so much for joining us for this episode. I hope you learned something that can help you. I hope you, more than anything, learn that you're not alone in your caregiving journey. I want to thank all of our guests. Thank you so much to Fran and Ira, who are here with us today to share some of their journey. Thank you to Jennifer for being here with us today. Can you please tell everyone, Jennifer, how they can contact you?
You are more than welcome to contact me by phone. My phone number is 561-266-4001. Again, 561-266-4001. If you are interested in the caregiver support group I facilitate or individual therapy. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. We will definitely have you back again to talk about some strategies. But we have a lot going on.
Yeah, we have a lot going on. So we have our support group at Allegro every third Thursday of the month. We are going to be holding, which is super fun. Well, I don't know about fun. It's very educational. It's very emotional. So July 7th, we are going to be at Arden Courts in Delray Beach.
July 7th? No.
27th.
July 27th.
That was
July 7th.
So last week we're going to be at Arden Courts.
July 27th.
It's from 10 to 3. We're going to be putting something out called the Virtual Dementia Tour. So if you know of somebody that has dementia, if you're caring with somebody that has dementia, this will put you in an experience, whether it's what's on your ears, your hands, your feet, to walk you through this.
If you are caring for someone with dementia, it is a life-changing experience.
It is.
I went through it. It was very emotional. It took me a couple days to recover, but it will show you why your loved one is saying and doing the things that they're doing. Mm-hmm. And I think it's so important for anyone who is caring with someone with dementia to experience this. So
again, it's at Arden Courts, July 27th. You have to call to RSVP because they're going to put you in a time slot. The phone number is 561-498-5552. Again, that's 561-498-5552. Next week, in 2 weeks, we're going to have Elliot Sokoloff and Kelly Jackson. He is a personal injury attorney, and she is doing a study at FAU about how to get the car keys away and how you work with that.
That will be really interesting.
A lot of fun coming up. We appreciate you taking time to be with us today, and we hope you learned something.
And again, if you have a topic
that you'd like us to discuss or dive into, please contact us. Or if you have a resource that really helped you in your caregiving journey that you'd like to tell us about, you can reach us via email at seniorstrategies.pb@gmail.com, or you can call us
At 561-800-6654.
Again, we hope you learned something today, and we hope you learned something that will help you on your caregiving journey, and we hope you realize that you're not alone. Maybe you got a laugh out of it too.
See you in 2 weeks.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us today on Senior Strategies. We hope that you found the tools and the strategies that we offered you beneficial for your journey as a caregiver. We want you to leave today feeling empowered and supported.
Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube for upcoming shows and events. For more information, to schedule a consultation, or to join a support group, please contact us at 561-800-6654.
And remember the strategies
And tools you can use
to make your journey easier.